Surprise, surprise, motherfucker. The king is back. Welcome along to Obviously Fight Talk episode 32. As always, we're brought to you by MMAmix.com. Obviously, they're good because they're with Obvious Fight Talk. And again, we're brought to you by the beautiful Whiskey Fair here in Dunleary. I'm joined, as always, by hashtag win decision, Mr. Robert Palin.
What's up, man?
And of course, crazy Carl Doran.
What's the crack, lads? Nursing a severe hangover right here.
Everybody is. I'm Noel, so what's the crack? Hangovers aside, let's get through your rundown. So, your rundown this week, as always, we'll start with your obviously Fight Talk Quickfire news. We're going to recap an incredible card that went down last night in Las Vegas. UFC 202 did not disappoint. We then have your weekly list. Yeah, we're sticking to it. We're actually doing a weekly list, so we're doing another one. This week's list is the top 5 best non-title fights in a main event, and then we'll be breaking down UFC on Fox 21, Maia versus Condit. This is a barn burner. We're going to break down the 4 main fights on the card, and we'll do our little under the radar pick. So that aside, unfortunately Dan's not with us. He's a bit of family business to take care of, collecting people from airports, losing luggage. You know, Dan's a disaster. What can we do? But how's the hangovers? How's the heads?
Well, I'm not too bad. I didn't have too many drinks because I was just on holiday, so I was like, fuck that, I'm staying away from all the drink. But Carl,
what time did you start your preparation for UFC 202 yesterday?
He was
doing God's work first.
I was doing the Catholic thing and went to a christening.
I didn't know where you were going to go with
that.
I got nervous when you said the Catholic thing. I was like,
I heard a brilliant. I heard a brilliant joke there yesterday. He's like, I love this one. Right? Why do monks have the ball patch on their head?
Go on.
Oh yeah, that's it, brother. Keep going, keep going. But I was on the lash since 1:30 yesterday, so fucking drinking all day, and then decided to put a drunken tirade up on Facebook on the way
tagged
home.
Everyone.
Yeah, so and then last night, by the time I got to Conor's fight, I was literally sitting there going, my head is banging. It was like dying, absolutely dying.
It was bad.
If you check out the obviously Fight Talk page, you'll see links to it, and if you follow Carl through that as well,
he also sang. Actually, he sang.
You got patriotic.
I did. I got very patriotic. You know.
I like that.
It happens with alcohol, as it does with any fine Catholic Irishman.
Nothing wrong with that. So let's get it down. Here we go. Your quick fire news. So as the normal rules apply, there's 3 of us here, so we've got 2 minutes to talk about each topic. The clock will tick as soon as I finish the question. It's a little bit like catchphrase. So before Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz stepped into the cage at UFC 202, it was reported that McGregor would make a disclosed $3 million fight purse, a company record, with Diaz making a huge $2 million. Brock Lesnar made the previous record with $2.5 million disclosed at UFC 200 last month. What do we think about McGregor making history with the company, setting this record with this $3 million purse? What do we think?
Well, you have to say fair play to him, you know, because you had such a name, and Brock, he was the previous owner of the biggest purse. But like, you know, Conor come in, and to be fair, Conor's done a shitload of work for the UFC. It's well deserved. And as for Nate Diaz making, was it $2 million as well? Like,
amazing.
Nate's been around how long? And it's about fucking time that man got a fucking purse. It's well deserved on both their parts. And Nate said it in the post-fight presser last night. It's still not enough. And I agree 100%.
Yeah, that's one of the things I said to Carl when we were watching the fights. I said, like, it's great to see Nate Diaz getting paid. Like, if you look at his last purse before Conor McGregor, it was 20 and 20 grand, 20 grand. Now, of course, there's little bits on, just like they'll have more on for pay-per-view points, which you wouldn't have got before. But $2 million payday, like the last payday, it was Conor against, I think it was Aldo, was a $1 million payday, and then it was Brock Lesnar, and now it's Conor. So it looks like it's just going to keep going up, which is phenomenal for everybody.
No, it definitely is. Like, it is great to see Nate Diaz hit the time, but like, it's amazing to think like 3.5 years ago, Conor McGregor was on the dole. But you know, let's be honest, he's fought everybody. He's worked his ass off to get to the position where they're at. So you know, it's got to be, you know,
it's well deserved. I wonder as well how much the pay scale is going up. Did it go off?
No.
I wonder how much the pay scale is going up with this talk of, you know, the
unionization and stuff.
Fighter organisation coming in, and what's it called? Fucking
a union.
Sorry.
Union,
So I wonder if that's something in the back of their minds where, like, maybe if we paid them a bit better, this whole union thing can be avoided. You wouldn't know. That's just my little conspiracy brain working, but
like again, pay, the fighters, if they're raking in the money that the UFC are raking in, the fighters should be getting some of the crumbs falling.
Exactly, 100%. And we are just coming, there we go.
There we go. Right. So moving on, your next subject, Brock Lesnar is back in the news. When is he ever not? In an interview with TMZ, TMZ, that really reliable source, Lesnar commented on whether he will return to MMA and the UFC, saying, there will be a day, maybe, that day might see me back in the octagon. Do we think we'll ever see Brock make his UFC return, considering he's out he's going to get a suspension, etc.? So what do we think?
2 years suspension, you'd imagine. That's what it's looking like.
Go on, sorry.
Yeah, two years suspension, so most likely not. And if Brock does come back, let's be honest, he's not going to come in clean, so he'll probably just get popped again. Somebody that has been using, enhancements, and there's anything wrong with them. If you're using them just for your own, personal use and you're not fighting or whatever, that's fine. But yeah, if you're using them for yourself, that's fine. But when you're fighting, it's a different story. If you're using them to get an advantage in a sport, that's completely different.
Yeah.
But I don't think we will see him back, because I just don't think he'll be. Even if he does come back,
time is against him, number one. Exactly. It depends how big of a ban he gets. Yeah. It's not going to happen. It's just, and he's keeping the door open. It makes sense to do it.
But even if he does, he's not going to come back clean.
No,
you know what I mean? So you will never see him again.
We didn't know if he's going to come back after his last fight, when we assumed he was clean when it didn't come out. Yeah. So I wouldn't put any. Again, I think he's just keeping his options open. He's not going to say 100%.
Yeah, but it's smart even from the WWE and the UFC standpoint to keep that door open, to keep them nut hugger fucking WWE fans going, oh, Brock.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a smart decision. It makes perfect fucking sense.
It makes
Brock
Lesnar,
sense. No matter how much whatever you agree or disagree with, is how good he is, if you like his style, whatever, that doesn't matter.
No.
He is a huge fucking draw.
Oh, huge
draw.
Yeah.
So by him even saying that, we're talking about it. So it's
exactly.
news. Do you know what I mean? So
exactly. Yeah, he's not gonna be back though.
No,
I just really don't see it. Really
never say never, but I doubt it.
Yeah, the noose is hanging over his head, you know what I mean? And they're waiting for the drop the doors.
Yeah,
as soon as you decide a decision and suspension, fine, whatever comes out, that's when the nail will be hammered into the coffin of Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. Well said.
That's we done. Yeah. Beautiful. That's usually timed that well.
Yeah.
That's 2 topics I finished with, 2 analogies.
Yeah, nice.
I'm fucking on I tell you.
The anal's all over the day.
Yeah, big time. So heading to the UFC 202. Both Lorenz Larkin and Donald Cowboy Cerrone were on the last fight of their respective contracts with extremely impressive performances. Always good to go out of your contract with a win from both Larkin and Cowboy. Do we expect them to re-sign with the UFC? Now, added to that as well, I didn't see any comments on Larkin about this, but I know Cowboy turned around in his post and basically said, I think it's just, you have started the clock on me, haven't you? Oh yeah. I think Cowboy, he basically said that was a 30-second walk with Zuffa, and he wants to do 50. And he basically said, look, I'm a UFC man, I don't want to go anywhere else. So I don't think, as he turned around and said, I'm in the fight game, I don't care about that, I leave my management to do that. So he basically said, I'm having a fun day Sunday, where he's going to go in the lake, he's going to walk into the UFC offices on Monday and go, I want to fight in New York. And you seen him in his fight, he called for Alvarez.
Yeah. So, I don't know if that's smart, because you have the option now to say, I want to stay with the UFC, but I'm going to test the waters with other organisations, try to drive your price up. I'm sure the UFC want to keep a hold of him, and I'm sure when he's actually negotiating, he won't say, just give me whatever contract. There's going to be a negotiation there. He's going to let them know, if I don't sign with you, there is plenty of people I can sign for. But publicly coming out and saying, I want to go back to the UFC, I'm not going to even try test the waters, is a bit strange for me. But
I think it would be if it was somebody who had 6 fights, 8 fights, but someone of Donald Cerrone's stature, that man.
But he was complaining about pay.
Yeah,
about a month ago.
You can also make the argument though that him saying that
maybe he's
I'm staying with the UFC and that's it, that then other companies that would actually like to get Donald would go, actually we knew he was coming out of contract and we agreed that we'd probably give him this much, but if he's so insistent on staying, we'll have to give him more money. So you can look at it from both ways.
Look at it from both ways, yeah.
But,
I think Cowboy will be with the UFC till he's...
Oh, I do. I don't think he's going anywhere anyway. The same with Lorenz Larkin. The only thing with Lorenz, I think he has a good relationship with Scott Coker, I'm sure. Signing with Strikeforce back in the day. So, maybe he'll talk with them, but I expect both of them. I expect both of them to stay.
Yeah, he's gone on a good run there, so I don't expect Lorenz Larkin to move anywhere either. So it was a very successful night for SBG on Saturday, but not just in the UFC, as Elliot Libby won his ICE FC welterweight championship bout. He took this on short notice. Now, I'm not too sure lads if you are familiar with Elliot. Elliot is a young prospect out of SBG. He's been taking a lot of short notice fights as well. Delighted for him. As far as I'm aware, I didn't look into it too much. I think he won by a submission, possibly guillotine. I'll have to check up on that. But crazy talented young fighter. I know he's due to fight in Cage Legacy up in Drogheda in October as well. So a great scalp to take a title fight in short notice, get in there and get the job done.
It's good seeing more Irish fighters doing well. It seems a good outlet for Irish fighters. Like obviously Ryan Courts went over there to ICE.
Shinobi
Ben,
is another good show.
Ben fighting in ICE. So it looks like a lot of Irish fighters seem to have a bit of a relationship with that organisation. Good to see more fighters winning titles, getting their name out there. Just shows the talent in Ireland at the moment for MMA. There's a lot of guys there, so that's good. It's good news for and
again, like you can see, I go on about this all the time from being at shows. Like you've Clan Wars now next week up in Belfast on Sunday, so get your tickets. You'll see me, but
signing autographs.
Signing autographs. Who'd want my autograph? But it's amazing talent in this country, this little island of ours, you know what I mean? And Elliot's definitely one of them. So delighted for him. Congratulations, Elliot. We'd love to get Elliot on the show sometime about upcoming bouts as well. I just wanted to give it an honourable mention because it was another successful night for SBG outside of the UFC. Of course, so we can knock that one and move on to our last piece of obviously Fight Talk Quickfire news, which the UFC announced a return to Belfast for November 19th this year. No fights have been confirmed. What do we think of the news of UFC's return to Belfast, and who do we see being placed on the card?
About time.
Yeah.
It's about time.
They've just been away for way too long for fans in Belfast.
Well, I can imagine you'll have fighters clamouring. The likes of Neil Seery is already saying he wants on.
Of course,
I imagine Ash Daly, if she comes back from injury, she'd be looking. Wouldn't surprise me if the UFC were to... We were only talking about this last week when we were talking about Perry, that we don't know him and he came in and fought short. Wouldn't surprise me if the likes of a Reece McKee...
No, not at all.
Alan Philpott...
No, it makes a whole lot of sense. Like
the likes of Dylan Took, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like the UFC always bring in guys like who are known locally and they can fight for the fans there. Like they're going to bring in audience as well. It wouldn't surprise me. Philpott Park getting another shot. That wouldn't surprise me. Now, when's Park fight? When's the date?
Well, he's fighting before in. He's fighting. I think he's somewhere in Europe. He's fighting in September, and then he's fighting Cage Legacy in October. So it'll be very close to the UFC if that was the case.
It still wouldn't surprise me if he comes out, looking okay and he's not too banged up or whatever. But there's plenty of guys there. A lot of guys up in Northern Ireland, like especially from Next Gen. There's so many guys from that gym who could get on that card, and it's just great to see because we spoke about it a couple of times when we had a couple of the guys like Grease and Alan on. I'm like, why aren't you going to Belfast? Like it's clearly a huge...
we were sort of saying it about Bama. Bama should get up to Belfast.
Yeah, big time.
And we even said it in a certain way that if Bama don't, somebody else will.
Exactly,
I assume this is going to be in the Odyssey.
Yeah, you'd assume so.
What's the capacity of the Odyssey?
I think it's more than the O2.
More than the O2?
I don't know. Could be.
Because if that's more than the O2, could you imagine if they done a Conor fight there?
Yeah.
If that's more.
Yeah.
People will travel for that.
Oh, yeah, it's only up the road.
And that's Bing Bing. So that's your quick fire news. Another notable news as well, just outside, just as a topic, was John Jones. Apparently his supplement has come back that it was tainted, like, so he technically he's in the process. It was like he just done a thing basically saying I could be coming, I could be back in the octagon sooner and stuff like that. Like, so for me, I was there going, whoa, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, John Jones is back in the talk, Now I think it was like an Instagram post or something along the lines of that. But
you'd have to feel for fighters when this USADA thing comes in. Like, it seems like there's a lot of times where they fail and they can prove it's a tainted supplement.
Yeah. Look at Tim Means. Tim Means, he was saying he lost out on 200,000 because of that.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, it's rough. Like,
but that's
it's
also
great.
Tim Means' fault.
It is, but like,
it's your responsibility.
But they don't get, like, it seems like they don't get as much help as they should. If you're gonna like test as rigorous as they do, I don't know if you can even send your supplement on to be tested. You can say, I take this.
Well, this is the argument for the union.
Yeah,
is to get that representation
yeah.
there and to have another body basically help fighters. Like,
exactly,
you know what I mean? And I'm sure USADA is going to be a part of that union organisation and telling fighters about whatever supplements or whatever. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. USADA need to release their own fucking supplements that aren't on the banned list. Just approved supplements.
Great,
It just make everything so much easier. And if somebody gets caught, then that's just your fucking fault. Like, stop being a douche. You know what I mean? But like, I feel bad for Tim Means. And if it's the case with John Jones, like, if it's something like that, then I'll take back what I said. Like, but still. What a fucking idiot. Like, you should know what you're putting
especially
into your
like
body.
John Jones really should. Like, Tim Means isn't making a whole lot of money, so
as a professional athlete though, as a professional athlete, all it takes is going down to your local fucking chemist. Like, you know what I mean?
So moving on, let's talk about,
I hope everybody's loving the backing track.
If you are picking that up, we obviously, y'all know we film here out of Whiskey Fair in Dunleary, and the odd Sunday the old Patriot bodies come out and the bones come out, and downstairs we have a good traditional Irish band. So a bit fitting that we're going to be talking about Conor McGregor, and we imagine we got to the main event and they start playing Foggy Dew, huh?
I know.
But let's talk about UFC 202. So just before we move on, we're going to break down the main card obviously, but just a little back look at fights earlier in the prelims. We had Artem Lobov, who's obviously fights out of SBG, so a lot of interest in Artem this side of the world. He beat Chris Avelia fairly easily, really, wasn't it? Avelia didn't really offer much in the fight. Artem was almost like you could see the game plan for the main event. That was the one thing to pick out from that fight.
I'd say Artem looked better, but Chris didn't look very good at all.
Well, I've seen a lot of people commenting about this, and some people are saying negative things and stuff, and like, everyone's opinion is phenomenal. Whatever, you have your own opinion, that's grand. But like, for Artem, you can only be what's put in front of you in a way. And we've spoke about this before about like dancing. You need a dance partner, and it goes the same with fighting. And Avila didn't want to be in there. You can see he really didn't want to be in there. And Artem was trying to close the distance. Artem got a cut in his head from a clash of heads. But apart from that, that was it. It was an easy 30-27 decision on the scorecards. If the judges got that one wrong, there's
plenty of times with Artem you see when a fight is kind of going like that, he'll start dropping his hands and start just wailing at his opponent. I'd say his game plan for the fight was perfect. He done what he had to do. He was fighting a rangy fighter and he got in on the inside.
Did you watch the MMA hour? He was on it last week. He said to Ariel that before that fight, he asked the UFC for his walking papers. He was like, he wanted to be gone. That he wanted to move on, fight somewhere else, and basically earn his way back because of all the shtick that he was getting off of just fans. And he was more than prepared to do that. But then the UFC said, we want to put you on 202. We want to do the whole gyms versus gym thing. Which was a nice little, subtle undercurrent to this, and it was a good way of attracting people to the prelims or whatever. So he took that fight. And to be fair to Artem, Artem, as you said, he went in and done what he had to do. Some people might say that was a shy fight. Don't necessarily think it was a bad fight. I think it was just Avila didn't want to be in there, and Artem was more than happy just to kick his leg and just win the fight.
Well, I had said it before. I picked it as was me under the radar fight, and I felt it was that way because Artem if he lost, he was gone.
Yeah, exactly.
So I thought it was interesting. And someone put up a post last night on Twitter, and Mark DKC actually retweeted it as well. He's basically saying we got to get these guys matched in UFC in Manchester, just for we can't have Artem having more wins than losses on his record, because he's 13-12 now.
Yeah.
So Mark DKC has called for that fight as well.
Yeah,
he wants to fight. So
I'd like to see that fight.
Yeah.
DKC is very, very good.
Yeah, it's two lads with serious power, so that could be very interesting
fight for Artem. But I like it.
Then just the notables on it for me. Raquel Pennington done what she had to do against Elizabeth Phillips in a unanimous decision. It was a good win. But the standout on the undercard definitely has to go to Cody Garbrandt with an absolute devastation of a finish.
Cody looked phenomenal. He looked great, didn't he? He's definitely. I love what he done after the fight as well. He called out Dominic Cruz, immediately made that fight. You know, put it into the fans' heads, put it into Dominic Cruz's head. Dominic looked like he was pumped.
It was and everything up.
Perfect. I love that. That's good promotion.
He worded something vulgar. Dominic Cruz said,
did he?
Bring it on, motherfucker. Or
holy
something like
shit.
That.
Yeah, he said, bring it on, motherfucker. That's exactly what he said.
I didn't see that bit.
No, but I can lip read. That's exactly what he said.
That's a beep. That's a beep if I ever seen a beep.
But it was, I have to say, it was an absolute phenomenal finish. He absolutely fucking. What was quite funny about it was, I thought Joe Rogan was saying, you're coming in as such a huge favourite in this fight, and you're fighting against a very experienced fighter. There's a lot of pressure in that sense. And he said, look, I'm fighting an absolute veteran. Like, he says, I knew I had my P's and Q's had to be right. Like, and it was a phenomenal finish. Like, I'm looking at it here. I just have a GIF playing constantly. But beautiful finish. Like, again, for that weight class, he just has knockout power.
Yeah. And as well, like, Cody and fucking Cruz, they obviously they don't like each other because of the whole gym thing. But as well, apparently Dom said some shit about his dad. And his father.
He had daddy issues.
Like,
that was vicious.
He had daddy issues, and that's why, like, I've always wondered why he was like Cody no love, because he got no love off his dad.
Did you see? Fucking hell. Did you see that as well? It was quite funny. After the fights, they were talking. They were up in the booth. And they were talking, and Dominic Cruz, they say to Dominic Cruz, like, how can you, like, break it down and be so non-emotional when you're breaking his fights down and give him credit? He's like, well, at the moment I'm not paid to fight this guy. At the moment I'm here to analyse him. So I can't say he's not good when he is good. And then he just went, but yo, brother, he said, you're not going to lay a glove on me, homie. I'm going to be too fast, I'm going to be too gone, I'm going to knock you out, or whatever. Just the way he done it, he just the switch went. It was fucking awesome.
I love Dominic Cruz.
I love Dominic Cruz. He's one of my favourite fighters.
But Cody Garbrandt looked absolutely.
The other fight that you'd have to look at is Lorenz Larkin against Neil Magny. Lorenz Larkin again. He showed like how good he can be when he wants to be. Lorenz Larkin has some of the nastiest stand up in that division. Like, just period. Probably another beep.
You're trying to get all the beeps. Probably another beep.
Joe, I'm actually down here this time because we missed them. I'm actually writing down the times. I'm typing down the times of when the beeps. Give me more fucking editing.
We're not editing you, Carl. No editing. Free Carl Doran. Hashtag free Carl Doran.
Exactly. Harumba. All that jazz.
Except for them too. Lorenz, like, he has like ridiculous power and he has phenomenal speed for that division.
He looked like he hurt Magny straight off the bat.
Yeah, Magny just couldn't get
Magny
into
was
it.
just backwards for the whole fight then, wasn't
Some of the nastiest fucking kicks I've ever seen. And the kicks as well, they were low calf kicks. Look at Neil Magny. That chap's calves are like fucking straw. You know what I mean? Like, he looks like you'd kick right through his leg and break it like a board. You know what I mean? And can you imagine that kick from Lorenz Larkin? Like, Lorenz Larkin bust open his own shin kicking him. That tells you. And he doesn't give a fuck. Just kept on throwing it.
Phenomenal. And it's the way fucking but he frightened the bollocks out of me as well. But again, it's we were talking about it with the free agency as well. It's a great way to go out in your free agency because it's
exactly.
I've got money in the bank here.
Is there any other ones there on the card that you were?
Well, no.
Colby Covington looked pretty decent.
What about Perry?
Well, no,
that's the main card.
That's
Yeah.
the main card now.
Yeah.
Right. Fair enough,
Corny
fair
Casey
enough.
got a nice win. Don't know if you said that one.
Yeah, that was the armbar.
Yeah, the armbar.
Yeah,
was
the
quite
armbar.
nice.
Corny Casey's armbar. That was slick as fuck.
Yeah.
Against Randa
Marcos. Yeah.
Yeah, Randa
So
Marcos.
the picks we done 5 picks on the main card, so we might as well give out our records because we never do this. Noel had a phenomenal event, but he's still last. And here we go.
At first, you're not winning.
Yeah, Carl's still ahead, but he's had quite a drop.
Yeah,
he's had quite a drop. He's at 62.5%.
It was the year of the beast.
It was,
yeah,
yeah,
6 fucked you up.
Yeah.
He
has 62 now.
Yeah, 62.5.
I'm coming to get you, motherfucker. I'm coming to get you.
See, that's what happens. Like, it's the same with me when I'm riding. I come flying out of the gates, blow me load. Like, that's it, you know. It's done within a couple
literally
of weeks.
and figuratively.
And then it's like trying to pay pill with a piece of rope.
Yeah,
trying to post a noodle.
Yeah, exactly. So
now I felt. Did you see the way McGregor walked into the cage?
The Vince McMahon walk,
where he was doing.
That's
what I felt like walking into the podcast today with 5 hours.
But I do love that you come in and he goes, "I done great. Where am I now?" And I'm still last.
Yeah.
But we're close. So we'll go through them. So Carl is still first with 62.5%. He went 3-2 on the card. I'm second with 61.26%. I went 4-1. Dan Mulvaheady. Helen Mulvaheady is 59.75%, and he went 3-2. And Noel went a perfect 5-0. Didn't bet on his accumulator and lost money. And he's 59.61%.
Do you know what? The main event was such a coin flip for me.
Yeah.
That I took that out of my accumulator and I stuck Neil Magny.
Neil
Magny fucked me accumulator.
Yeah. And to be fair to you now, in that fight, I was saying this is Neil Magny's because similar to Gegard Mousasi and at times Lorenz Larkin, he can't get out of 4th gear sometimes. And like I probably would have done the same.
Got out of 4th gear last night.
Yeah.
I know, great fight. Like you know when you lose a bet, like, at first you go, for fuck's sake. But then you have to appreciate it's the two athletes, and Larkin looked the fucking dog's bollocks.
Yeah.
So let's move on to my first pick that I got right, and I believe everybody else got wrong. Mike Perry defeats Hyen Chao Lim. By first round TKO. Now, there's a little bit of a backstory to this. When we were picking, I was looking. He was shadow when we were doing the show last week. He wasn't. He
was the UFC shadow.
And I said, look, he's won all his fights by knockout. He clearly can have a fucking shot. Like, so I said, fuck it. I'll roll the dice, and I went with it. But then did you see the weigh-ins? He was a fucking arsehole at the weigh-ins. And I was going, why did I pick
it was
dick?
It
just looked like Karma was going to knock him out. Never mind Lim. But
high five the ring girls.
They look like two different weight classes though.
Lim was gigantic.
Yeah, Lim was huge. Gigantic. But what did he do? He put his hand out to shake and he went, "Come on, boys!"
or something like
And Lim was like, "What the fuck?" And Dana's face was like,
I was like, this fucking guy.
What the fuck did we just sign?
He's like, Joe fucking Silva. Why just sign this guy?
When they came into the octagon last night, Lim looked a full weight class ahead of him.
Yeah, they look like,
he was huge. But in fairness, you got to give, Lim was putting the pressure on him. Perry bided his time and landed the shot. And when he landed the shot, he fucking went for it.
It was actually hilarious because my little brother was watching the fights with us last night, and James doesn't watch much mixed martial arts. And that fight and wherever Perry gets the knockout, James was like, that Chinese chap's fucking shite. I was like, Jesus Christ.
No, he folded him like a deck chair though, didn't he? Twice he folded him, backward folded him.
I thought he was going to blow his load. I thought when Lim was recovering for the second time, I was like, here we go, Lim's going to come back into it, and then no.
Folded him
again.
He was like a German by a swimming pool, fucking getting them fucking folding chairs. I swear, this Christmas, if you're looking for a gift for a loved one, get my Christmas album for sing songs, but also I'm bringing out an analogy book this year as well. Obviously, talking analogy. No, but I have to say, Mike Perry, he needs to calm down at the weigh-ins and stop being a dick. But great performance and a great finish.
Yeah, we actually skipped the Tim Means one, didn't we?
Oh, we did. We'll go back.
We go forward.
He just wanted to go to the one that you got right.
And funny when it happened, I was like, "Oh, this is the one that's going to turn the whole card."
When it happened, you rang us. You rang us on FaceTime. I'm like, no one's ringing us, but he just rings just to glow.
Yeah,
just to glow. And then he starts slagging him about Liverpool losing.
Yeah.
So
I'm sitting there fucking getting like extremely drunk. Being extremely drunk, start getting aggressive. Bleeding, start riding the pillow or something. Take out your frustration.
So the first night getting away from pillow riding. The first fight of the night was Tim Means against Sabah Homasi with a second round TKO. And Tim Means done what Tim Means does.
We all went with Means, and he looked great in the clinch.
Homasi just wasn't on his level. Like, dirty boy. Yeah, he just wasn't on his level.
It's like a young one you'd meet in fucking Copperface Jacks. You know what I mean? If you're a young fella, you're young, free and single, and you go to Copperface Jacks, you're gonna meet a dirty boy.
Something smelly. That's what you're looking for.
Probably stay away from Copperface Jacks. If you have any respect for yourself. No, but Tim Means, he looked great after the layoff, after getting screwed by USADA. It was great to see him get in there.
I really liked Tim Means. I really do think he's a bit of a dark horse in that division. That's what I tweeted last night. I think he's a good matchup for a lot of the guys in the top. I don't think he will be champion or he'll challenge, but he is a bit of a dark horse in there. I think
he's a motherfucker.
Yeah,
he's
bleeding Joe Rogan.
Yeah, you'll make a fucking go of it. Like, you know what I mean? If you want to beat Tim Means, you better be prepared to fucking fight.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's similar to a fucking Diaz or fucking bleeding Matt Brown. You know what I mean? You step into that cage with him, you're stepping in with a fucking animal.
Win, lose or draw. You know, you've been
exactly.
You're getting out battered.
Exactly.
So we already done that fight. Mike Perry, so the next bout of the evening then was Donald Cowboy Cerrone. He defeats Rick the Horror Story by a second round TKO. Donald at 170 looks fucking phenomenal. Now, we were saying in the press conference yesterday, he woke up and he had a fucking shitty headache. He felt sick. He couldn't get out of bed. He was exhausted. He rode to the show on his fucking Harley. Then comes out, and Rick Story, for me, he stood too much in front of Cerrone and let Cerrone do what he wanted to do.
To be fair, you have to highlight the fact that Cerrone made him stand in front of him. Cerrone was throwing a very clever knee to the midsection. As soon as Rick Story tried to pressure, which is what I said he had to do, Cerrone had that knee in his gut. You know what I mean? And that knee in the gut, that's going to stop all your forward momentum.
And it happened a couple of times.
And exactly. So that's something that was clearly game planned. You know what I mean? That was something he knew identified.
Well, I was watching the post conference, and he was saying that he knew what Story wanted to do. He wanted to come out, pressure him, and work his body. And he says, I wasn't giving him the fucking chance. He sort of used his wrestling to counteract that as well.
That's it.
But that combination,
left
to the head.
You have to say he started
right to the body, left to the head, finished with a head kick.
He's just started to train with Brandon Gibson from Jackson Winklejohn, because I don't think he did before. I think it's the second fight with him, and since he started training with him, that guy just has some weird techniques. He's one of John Jones' main Carlos Condit. That's where Carlos Condit trains. So that guy is just really unique in the way he strikes, and you could see it last night. Like one of our mates, Paul, texted me. He's like, "Did you see that combination that Donald Cerrone landed? It looked like a drill that you do in sparring that you wouldn't actually land. It just looks like you're just trying weird shit, but it landed perfectly. The only thing that didn't happen, he just didn't drop him with it, but it was beautiful.
Every single strike was spot on, to the point of where it looked like a video game. You know what I mean? That's like, and you don't see that very often. You know what I mean? It was perfect. Everything about that combination was perfect. It was his precision was precise.
Very precise.
It was just Cerrone just fucking turned up, like, you know.
Great performance.
It's a pity because I picked Story in that fight, and
you oohed and ahed over for it. We spoke, and I rang you to slag you about Perry and Liverpool being shy. You had said, I think I made the wrong decision.
No, he did. He said it last night. He said, I should have changed my pick. I picked wrong before the fight.
These are the things that happens, like, you know.
I made a mistake with Cowboy.
Yeah, exactly.
You're allowed once.
It happens all the time, like, you know what I mean? So like, sometimes, sorry about that.
Technical issues.
Edits.
We'll put up the little red bars. We'll go.
Nah, you're good. So, like, when you're actually picking fights or you're trying to break down a fight, you can look at the pros and cons of both fighters, and you say, right, this fighter has so many pros, so this is who I'm going with. And for me, that's who I went with in story. But ultimately, fights, when it comes down to it on the night, pretty much anything can happen. Like, you know?
But that's why this sport is so hard to go fight.
Exactly. And anything like on paper, it's never gonna translate. To be fair, because every fight can be different.
I honestly think the more that you watch MMA, the more difficult it is to pick a winner.
100%.
Just because you're thinking of so
100%.
much more. You're just thinking, oh, what was this happening? What this happened?
My missus would sit watching fights and you go, your man in the blue shorts will win, and I'll be going, what are you on about? Like, you know nothing. No, he won.
Do
you know what? I was thinking as well, did you pick last week for that fight?
I believe so.
Because I find it's happened to you a few times as well, where you've gone last, you'd hear us break a fight down, and you sort of go, the fucking lads are right. Fucking right.
Yeah.
And that can happen.
Yeah.
But
So
interesting that you went with Story though, even though
it's big factor of that is I love Rick Story. He's one of my favourite fighters.
You see, Donald Cowboy Cerrone looked phenomenal last night.
Yeah.
He just looks amazing at 170.
Yeah.
He doesn't look depleted. He doesn't look like Donald's always active, but he just looks sharp and
he doesn't look small either.
No, he looks glorious tan.
Glorious tan, out
Except
on the river.
His shorts,
doing
when
flips
he was
and
saying his legs, he must have been wearing long shorts because his legs were very wide. But
a bit of a farmer tan going on, does he?
But he looked like Story just came up against an animal.
Cowboy was on his game.
He looks like he's in a purple patch in his career at the moment.
Yeah.
Right, he had the loss against the Sanyos. But he looks like he's just in a hot streak at the moment.
He does do this, though, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he goes on streaks and then he loses.
And he tends to lose the title fight.
Yeah, exactly. The last hurdle.
For Cerrone, he said he's going back down to 155.
Yeah.
What do you think? Should he?
Are we going to go through these next?
We'll hit that up in a minute.
We're going to go through. We're going to go through the hall of the winners.
We'll do what's next for the winners after.
Fair enough.
Just in my head, I have that. My Cerrone. I don't have the words, but it's in my fucking head. Your co-main event of the evening. If you blinked or you have trachoma, you definitely missed this one. Anthony Johnson defeats Glover Teixeira by first round KO, 13 seconds, with the uppercut dragged out of fucking hell and onto Glover's chin. This we all knew was going to be an absolute. Two of these guys have crazy power. We spoke about Anthony Rumble Johnson's speed, explosiveness, power, knockout, one shot. You can say the same thing for Glover. He has that knockout ability. I just edged it for Anthony Rumble Johnson. First round, he has to be the best fighter in the UFC in the opening round. When that bell goes, you're fighting. I think I called him last week. You're in a cage with a bull.
Yeah.
And fuck me, I don't. If he hits anyone in the heavyweight division, in the light heavyweight division, anyone with that shot that he hit Glover, it's the same thing. Daniel fucking Big Dan Murgliata is going, you're alright, fight's over.
To be fair, he hit Daniel Cormier with one of those.
Cormier said in
rematch, Johnson's gonna fucking take his head off.
I'm looking forward to it.
The
fight, there's not much to break down.
No.
There was literally, they said it last night. They were like, "Let's watch the full fight."
The replay was the full
That's
fight.
how short it was.
Yeah.
The uppercut was just fucking horrendous. We've seen it now, and I think it was confirmed that fucking Glover Teixeira's tooth was knocked out
Anthony
of his face.
the Dentist Johnson.
Yeah, there's a new people are calling him Humble Johnson.
Humble Rumble.
But he looked phenomenal.
But he was saying he doesn't study much tape. What he does is he'll watch one fight or two fights and watch one or two rounds, and he'll see what people like to do. And he told his coach that I'm going to win by uppercutting this fight. And so he pretty much fucking but it was phenomenal. Yeah,
everybody obviously has their own way. Some people study, some people don't study. You know what I mean? Like John Jones was a big proprietor of studying tape.
Everything.
But he went in and there's not much really to break down in that fight. No. He just made his head explode.
Yeah. That's the weird thing with Johnson, because when he does win, he goes in a streak. Usually he gets in there and he just gets people out of there. So when you're going into a rematch with Daniel Cormier and you're saying what has changed since then, like I said to you, what adjustments have you made? Because I probably would go with Anthony Johnson in a rematch just because of what we've seen. And I think that Cormier is a finished product. I think that maybe he's getting a little bit older. He probably starting to deplete.
I wouldn't mind. We said this the last fight.
That's what I'm saying. But that's the weird thing with Johnson. We don't know if he's improved other things because he's just going in there and he's just
Dangerous
sparking people.
Yeah.
So it's
He's a dangerous
oh, he's an
but
absolute
do you know
nightmare.
what? The UFC should be putting everything behind him because the whole humble rumble, his respect right the way through everything, like with all the bottle thrown on the presser, him and Glover were standing beside him.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I know what I would have been saying if I was Anthony Johnson, being on the same card as Conor McGregor, and all this bottle thrown. We should call it Bottlegate.
I was calling it
Watergate.
Watergate. I done hashtag Watergate.
Yeah, Bottlegate. But
hashtag
if I'm Anthony Johnson, he's not gonna do it because he's too fucking humble. But I'm going fucking Conor McGregor. We don't all need to throw bottles.
Well, he started to they were talking about that in the press conference, and he was saying, we don't need to do that. Like, I don't need to trash talk with Glover because everybody goes, we're going to go in and try and take the head off.
Now fucking.
Well, phenomenal performance.
It's
hard to, we've spoke more about this fight than the fight happened itself.
Yeah. But and again, it's just like the Cody Garbrandt fight after the bell. Said this is the fight I want. Cormier reacted, and everyone's like, "Yeah, let's do it."
But you have
to. They're always great as well when they start booing Cormier.
And he's like, "Come on,
don't boo him. He's the champ. He earned what he has. He's a champ. Don't boo him." You're going, so nice. He's such a nice man. So moving on to the main event of the evening, one of the most highly anticipated MMA matchups, rematches, main events of all time. You had Nate Diaz after his victory over Conor McGregor at 196 by rear naked choke in the second round. This was Conor's redemption bout, as he was calling it, looking for redemption. So this was an instant classic.
Oh yeah,
it was a 5-round war. Now I want to talk about the fight round by round here, right? Because some people are saying Diaz won. Some people are saying it's a fix. Some people are saying silly things. So that's why I want to do round one and go through it as if you're a judge. And what the fuck was that one judge saying in round 3? But anyway, so let's set the scene. Comes on, Foggy Dew, Notorious kicks in, happy days, it's all good. They step in, all the red coats in the cage. Why was there so many fucking red coats? They were about to
show. It's a show.
Yeah, they were
that's all
about
it
to
is.
fight.
Yeah.
Just the way of point at the weigh-ins. My little brother was saying it, which I thought was kind of funny. It's most likely not, but I was like, yeah, actually, good point. You're saying about all the cops being on stage, and he was like, they have so many people there, then plus all the security that are around them anyway, and he's like, it wouldn't surprise me if they weren't actually police officers. If they just had people in police officer costume just to make it look better.
Remember the copper that was caught looking at Misha Tate? They do have coppers on stage at the weigh-ins at times. Remember the copper Misha Tate? Look.
I thought it was funny. Sometimes it can be. That's me. My promotional company, I'm having people dress up as fake police officers all the time.
I don't think you're allowed though. That's impersonating a police officer. I think that's a crime.
I think you need to stop fucking dictating the law now. Jesus Christ, this promotion.
Just saying, it's against the law. I'm a law-abiding citizen. Right, so here we go. Let's break it down. Round 1. Conor opens up with the leg kick that we all thought was coming.
Yeah.
The lads spoke here when we had the Muay Thai lads on from Courage about that should be the tactic.
Yeah.
Nate stands heavy on his lead leg. It's exactly what Conor done.
Yeah.
Lit him up. Got a knockdown in the round as well. Looked like he was going to engage in the ground and then backed off and thought, nah, let's get this back up on the feet. So from the first second to the last second of round 1, it was all Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Are we all in agreement with that?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Perfect first round for McGregor.
Can't remember any significant strikes for Nate in that round.
I'm sure there was, but I can't remember any.
I think there were real Diaz pop shots.
There was nothing heavy.
What I liked about what Conor was doing though was he was still closing Diaz down. It wasn't as aggressive as the first fight, but he was still leading the dance. He was still walking down Diaz, landing the kick, landing a 1-2-3 combination, but wasn't throwing exactly what we were all saying. Wasn't throwing hell to leather on them all. But he was landing significant strikes. The shots he was landing were hurting Diaz.
Good shots,
I think the first knockdown, it wasn't like a flash knockdown. No. It was just landed a good shot that put Diaz on his ass.
And I think as well the leg kicks, we were talking about the leg kicks last night, I think they put him off balance as well. He didn't really have a steady front leg, so when he was getting hit, sometimes when he was stepping back, he was losing his balance as well. So I'm sure it was a mixture of the shot itself and the leg kicks. You know, when he was getting, he didn't have a perfect stance when he was standing, because those leg kicks were nasty.
You could see it. After the first 3 kicks, you could see Diaz was because Conor was burying deep into the meat,
and Diaz kept lifting his leg and trying to anticipate the shot as well.
And to me, I said it to yourself last night, Robert, with Conor using that leg kick, he used it either coming into a combination and then finished with it. But every time he landed the kick, it was almost like, right, there's the kick landed, reset.
Reset.
And that's what it was every time. He'd land the kick, disengage, reset himself, and then go back to work. That's what it looked like every time. And every time that kick landed, that stopped Nate from rallying. And there was a few points, I can't remember if it was in that round, where Nate tried to rally and he started trying to shit talk, and Conor just caught him with a lovely left. And immediately, immediately it just shut Nate down. And you want to talk shit, that's grand, but try do that when you have a fist in your face, with a good shot.
If you look at the first fight, round 1, and this first fight, round 1, Conor, when he closed the distance, he was willing to stand with Diaz right in front of him with his hands down. While his hands were more up. As much as he was still slipping the shots, his left hand was high all the time.
He used it very, very sparingly. He didn't use his left hand off, that's what everybody said. Everybody said, don't use the left hand as much. It's weird. It's his best shot, but he shouldn't use it.
You have to set it up. We spoke about this. Dan Henderson reverts to that big overhand right because it's done it so good from Roy Nelson has done it as well. When you're hitting home runs with the one shot, you tend to go, well, fuck it, I'll hit a home run. And lads go to it, but it works best by setting it up,
and especially against another southpaw who's longer, a lot longer than you. It's your worst shot against your southpaw. It's your longest shot.
We're on agreement. Round 1 ends. It's 10-9. Possibly you could have argued a 10-8 if you're being hypercritical. I didn't think so. 10-9 for me is perfect. Now, for me, I don't know how you felt, but when the round ended, I went, right, brilliant. Just like the first fight, although not as exhausted or thrown as much into it, you've won the first round convincing. So you were grand. Let's keep that style. Round 2 starts, they come out, same thing, leg kicks again, picking shots. McGregor was, did he put him down twice in the second round?
Twice in the second.
2 knockdowns in the second.
So put him down second round, twice in the second round.
Within the space of a couple of seconds from each other as well.
So you could see Diaz was hurt. Conor was the perfect fight, working perfectly. But then you could just see, again, the first fight, you could just see Diaz. It was like McGregor landed a combination, and it was almost like Diaz went, wasn't as much on that this time. And Diaz picked the pace up then and start at McGregor and landed a few shots.
It's good shots,
And I honestly think that only for that rally by Diaz, probably about 40 seconds of the round left.
40 seconds to a minute.
I'd say that saved him from a 10-8 in that round. He came back, he landed some good shots. Conor looked like he burnt out a little bit, and you were thinking, oh shit, has it happened again? But Conor was smart this time. As much as Diaz was landing the shots, he was a lot of them were on the arms.
That's the difference between, if you look at the very first fight and you look at when Conor started fading, most of Conor's defense is head movement and lateral movement. It's not, his hands don't be up. In this fight, when he was on the defense, he actually allowed Diaz clinch him, and then when he was up against the cage, he was using his shoulders and his hands to defend. Because when he's in the middle of the cage, we've seen him, the finishing strike in the first fight was that the right left combination. Conor just has head movement in the middle of the cage, but when he was up against in the clinch, he could use his head movement in the clinch, but he could also use the clinch to clinch Diaz up and use his hands, and as I said, a lot of them landed on the shoulder and the arms.
A big reason why, if you saying that, and a lot of them did land on the shoulders and on the arms, a few snuck through. Could you imagine if they had bigger gloves? That probably would have been a 10-8 then for Conor, because none of those strikes would have got through. So.
But what I liked about Conor in the up against the clinch, when you were saying up against the clinch, he was using, as much as Diaz was running, he was slipping, he was moving, he was ducking under shots, but he was landing, he was answering back, he was hitting to the body.
Body shot was nice. But I will say as well, another thing Diaz done really well in the fight was using that clinch. People were saying that Conor's takedown offense when Nate went for takedowns was really, really good, but Nate didn't go for an awful lot of takedowns, especially early. and what he done was he was just leaning up against Conor.
Yeah.
I thought that was
Making him carry-
that was really smart. Yeah,
another
really
thing
smart.
he done, which I actually said it when I was sitting watching it. He sort of done what Conor done to Chad Mendes. He kept doing the front kick to the stomach, to the chest, to try and suck that gas out. So Diaz rallied late in round 2, had some good combinations. The round ended, Conor looked tired.
Yeah.
Into his corner. Conor was fine, grand. But you were thinking, Conor won the round. As much as Diaz rallied, you're looking at a fight. You know, some people have said that, people have said it to me already today. Oh, I thought Diaz could have got round 2, and you're going like, how the fuck? Like, because he had a good 30 seconds. Like, Conor had a good 4 minutes 30
Unfortunately,
seconds.
a lot of people just remember the end of the round. That's just human nature.
But and
judges do it as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you want a judge that understands, you know, rounds and how rounds are won. But and the one thing that I liked about that was when he went back into the corner and John said it to him, and I think John identified, his coach identified that Conor had lost a little bit of his step. Just you know, a small bit. He wasn't like completely gassed or out of it, but he said it to him. He said, "This is why you train so hard in the gym. It's to get through these moments." I'm sure John was basically, you know, in a way saying to Conor, you know what's going to happen in the next round now. He's going to come at you. He's gonna come at you. He could feel that step off the gas, and that's good cornering. You're preparing your fighter for the next round. Exactly, like you worked so hard. This is why you work hard. Now get through this, and you should be. And that's what happened. Like you know,
so third round started, and the first thing Joe Rogan said was Conor still breathing heavy.
I wouldn't even say heavy.
But
I wouldn't even say heavy.
Just, you know yourself. That's just Rogan. So Rogan came out and said Conor's still breathing heavy. There's no denying round 3. As much as Conor had some lovely elbows, he put Diaz down again in the third round.
No,
he did.
He knocked him down 3 times. That's all.
Yeah, there was
only
3
times.
He landed some good shots.
No,
in
he
the
did,
clinch, he landed a nice elbow.
Yeah,
Diaz replied straight away though. But
there was a lot of arm punches in that round.
Yeah,
Tons it was similar again to the first fight in the second round when they were in boxing range, and Conor was throwing those really laboured arm punches. You could see it.
And Conor kept disengaging from the pocket and sort of turning and walking away. And this started Diaz pointing at him and stuff. Now a lot of people are saying he was running. I didn't think he was running. I thought he was just resetting.
Resetting.
But there's nothing wrong with that. As in, Diaz wasn't under huge pressure, and he literally turned and ran.
I've seen
a combination finish, and Conor would just walk away from it and then turn around. And 9 times out of 10, when he turned around, Conor landed the next combination.
He did have to do that.
We've all seen fights where fighters have run. That's not a fighter running. You know what I mean?
Brown against somebody, I can't remember who it was. But like that, he had to do that. Like he was the smaller man. He couldn't afford to do what he done in the first fight and get into a dog fight in the clinch with him. So he had to do that.
And you could see then the weight of Diaz leaning on him. It really, for me, that was the round that round 3 really told. Or what Diaz's work leading up to that, with up against the cage and leaning and letting Conor carry his weight. That's where that started coming to fruition for him.
Big time,
and it didn't look good with 30 odd seconds to go in the third round. Goldie being Goldie was like, Nate's not going to finish it, you know what I mean? And it looked that way.
I was shitting as well because I was like quite drunk, and I was looking at the referee, Big John, and I didn't realise how much time was left on the clock, and I'm going, he's going to fucking step in. Oh fuck, he's going to, and I was like, is this close? Like he's going to step in, because John was getting so close to the action, and then the buzzer went, and I went, was he saved by the bell? And Rob was like, no, he's like fucking stopping the round. You know, like it was so close to the end.
You could see it though. He was rallying Diaz. His confidence was flying.
Oh, that was
if there was a couple of more seconds left in the fight, it would have been interesting to see.
That was a perfect Diaz round. Like that's the quintessential Diaz round.
The one thing I'll say though is that Conor 100% had his wits about him at that time.
He
was still moving. He was still defending himself.
I don't think at one point he was rocked. I think Diaz was landing some really good shots and really hard shots. But again, it was similar to the second round where a lot of the shots were still landing on the arms and the shoulders. But he was rallying on him. He was,
big
100%.
time. It was Diaz's
best round.
It's a clear round for Diaz. Like,
I'm not sure about that was the 10-8, wasn't it?
This was the 10-8 though.
I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure. I didn't immediately think 10-8, but then I'll have to go back and look at it.
Well, I watched it again. I watched it today again.
But I have to say, like, I don't think he was in danger of getting put out of there. It looked like it was building to that, but Conor was defending himself and still moving away from it. I don't think it was. I don't think you could say that was a 10-8 if round 2 wasn't a 10-8 for Conor, because Diaz got put down twice. I know Diaz rallied with the last couple of seconds, and I think that saved him the 10-8. But as 10-8s go, I don't think that round 3 was a 10-8, and the other two judges agree. Yeah. But my fear there was going into apparently. Now I missed this. Joe said it to me downstairs there. Apparently, I don't know how true this is. This is just someone said it to me downstairs. Big John said to McGregor at the start of the fourth, "Do you want to go on?"
I didn't see that.
Now, I don't know unless he said, "Are you ready?" or something, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to look into that. But my fear there was that Conor looked exhausted.
He was drained. He was drained.
Boy completely got a second wind coming into the fourth. He looked re-energised. You could see the pop and speed in his shots again.
Yeah.
And again, round 4, it was a close round, but Conor was landing the bigger shots. He was landing the more damaging shots. Now, I know we don't pick on cuts and stuff because people have scar tissue, etc.
Especially a Diaz, brother. Diaz cut really, really easily.
You can take a little bit from that. Like his eye was cut over here, he had a cut in the chin. He was lit up, and that shows the consistency that Conor was hitting him with. Yeah. And I just thought, especially in round 4, Diaz did land a lot of shots in round 4, but they didn't have the same pop as them.
It looked like it didn't look like Diaz was tired.
But I think for me, what happened was, like, you agree or disagree with me here, lads. Let me know what you think. But
disagree.
It was a thing of where, from the fourth to the third round, Conor's tank was just slowly emptying, and Nate was trying to reserve his energy. And in that third round, when he got that round and he won it, Nate's energy levels pretty much came down as well, to the point as where both fighters were starting to balance. And I think then Conor just getting that second win just tipped it a little bit. Yeah. And it's just that small amount that made the whole difference in that round.
And in the fourth round, the round that Conor McGregor's never seen, he did look re-energised. As I was saying, he was landing some big shots again. Yeah. And I just think he landed the more significant shots.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So then, I was sitting at home going, well, that's 3-1. I was thinking that
3-1, 10-9 each round for everybody here. Is that what we all went with?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, 10-9 all round, as in 3 rounds, McGregor 10-9, 1 to Diaz round 1. I was going, this is fucking great. Coming into the 5th round, I thought that was a really competitive. The only thing I'd say is Diaz controlled where the fight took place
Diaz
in the 5th round. Yeah.
Diaz won that round.
He controlled where it took place. McGregor, that was his best round for defensive wrestling. Diaz tried to take him down on a few occasions. He eventually got him down with like 10 seconds to go or something. With a lovely little trip. It was like a throw trip. It was lovely. But it was the reason why I'd scored at Diaz. I don't think he out-bettered McGregor in the 5th round, but the whole octagon control thing. Yeah. It was him holding Conor up against the cage. It was because Conor landed some good shots in there as well. Yeah. But
Nate implemented his game in that round.
The takedown scared the shit out of him. He was the aggressor. When he got the takedown in the last seconds, I thought, fuck, is that one of the fight?
Yeah.
Like I didn't think that, because for me, I confidently had McGregor 3 rounds to 1 at that point. Unless Diaz finished in that round or he got a huge round, I didn't think.
Diaz's own corner said it to him.
Yeah, he had to finish.
No, he said you have to win the round.
You win the round.
He did say finish, so you have to win the round.
Classic fucking Diaz corner.
Yeah.
But so for me, 3-2, fair result. I thought they made a bollocks the way they called the result out though, because you knew who won by.
Oh yeah. Majority decision.
When they said 29-28, Conor majority decision, and then they said and your winner.
Yeah.
You already knew.
You knew
because Conor had already got the other.
Exactly.
Score.
Yeah.
So they should have said draw first. 29-28 McGregor, and then 29-28 for your winner.
You'll have all the drama.
Yeah, or they could have had it for your draw. You know what I mean? They're good, no matter what way they've done it, you're still going to know because McGregor got one
exactly,
side.
Yeah, Diaz
Diaz couldn't win it once the majority draw was called out. Yeah, but there's no way of doing it really. But an absolute fight. Instant classic.
Yeah, brilliant fight. Like Diaz didn't look bad. I thought Diaz looked really, really good. I thought McGregor's game plan for the most part was perfect, especially in the 4th round. 2nd round was good as well.
And I think that's such a good fight for Conor McGregor's career, as in
it's
to go through, to
learning,
experience a war like that, to experience a 5-round fight like that. It's almost like when you're playing a video game. His energy bar has gone up that little bit more, so now it can fill up that little bit more.
Yeah, and it's not only that. Like, who's Conor? Who in the UFC has chin like Nate Diaz?
Yeah.
Nick.
Fuck, he can take it.
But he's probably never going to fight Nick.
No.
Conor said himself he's done with 170.
Yeah, you could
said
that.
it.
Yeah.
Well, he said I'd never shy away from a challenge.
But he probably should be. Like, I don't think he has the frame for 170.
Yeah, and he said it. He said it himself. He feels fat at that. He said it himself. He feels fat.
I can't
there.
get abs.
Yeah, so that's like kind of telling. So. Yeah, who in the UFC has a chin like Nate Diaz?
Yeah,
not that many people.
Yeah, like a lot of them shots that were landed again last night, like the first one, a lot of them shots, like, did you see the combination? I think it was in the 4th round where McGregor threw a left and then came with the right on the inside of it.
And Conor was actually off the ground throwing that.
That's putting anyone out. Like.
Yeah.
And that's,
especially at featherweight.
Like, what I'm saying here is, like, he's fought probably the toughest man he's ever going to face in terms of just pure fucking toughness, like, of not going out, like, you know what I mean? Not in terms of the caliber of the opponent, but just sheer
size of him.
Yeah. So now Conor lost the first fight, learned so much, came back in, defeated him over the course of 5 rounds by decision, and realises now I can knock out pretty much nearly anybody except him. How much does that change Conor's game now in the future? You know what I mean? Like, does this mean now that Conor, and I hope it does because I'd love to see it, Conor's going to become that more fucking cerebral, you know, I'm not just going to throw the left hand to try to, I'm going to mix things up
you'd
more.
Hope so.
I'd love to see that, you know what I mean?
If you're a guy that wants to see Conor go far, I think that's...
Yeah. I
that's
think
the
so.
Thing you want to see.
Okay,
I think so.
Talking about where they're going to go and what they're going to do, lovely segue.
Yeah.
What's next? What's next for Conor McGregor? There was a lot of talk. He was getting interviewed and they were asked. Dana White has said he wants him to fight Aldo. McGregor himself spoke and he said, look, I've knocked this guy out. I've done 2 years touring with this guy. We eventually got in there and I put him out in 13 seconds. He says, it's not a fight that excites me. You can understand that.
You can understand that, you can. But
if
Aldo,
you have to defend your belt, you have to fight the number one guy. Like, and he's the interim champ.
If Conor doesn't fight Aldo, he should be stripped. He should be stripped.
Yeah,
but then
100%.
Conor also said, if he gets stripped, what does that do to that division?
But like that, you know, that was negotiating skills exactly. there. It is, you know, it makes sense in some way. But
do you really think that?
What?
That doesn't
it does
put a mark on the division?
No, it does.
Yeah,
absolutely, but still
hold the whole division up.
I'm not saying that. I've been the biggest proponent of Conor fucking fighting. Like, I've said it how many times. I said about this fight that it's a fight that I'm not really like. Obviously, I was excited, but not as excited as I wanted to see Conor defend his title. Exactly, that's what I want to see, because Conor, like it or not, he's a paper champion. He hasn't defended his title. That's the truth, and that's just the way it is. If Conor gets stripped, that's all he is a paper champion. Yeah, he's the most paid paper champion in the history of the UFC.
Got that
still,
paper.
Well, you know, you gotta look at it as well, though, Carl. Like, he's gone there and he's fought twice at 170. Like, the Cowboy was calling for Alvarez last night, but Alvarez is calling for McGregor because Alvarez knows that's the fucking money fight.
It wouldn't surprise me if that's the
fight happens. This is my theory on it. If that fight with Alvarez happens, there's no way on heaven or fucking earth are the UFC going to strip Conor, because he'd be the first 2-weight champion. Yeah. So that's the only fight outside of defending his 145 is to fight Alvarez for the 55 belt. That's the only fight that he will not get stripped of his belt for, because it'll be historic. It'll be in Madison Square Garden. It's Eddie Alvarez versus Conor McGregor in New York. Fact.
Probably.
Do you think...
I just told you what I fucking thought.
No, just about the actual fight. If that fight happens, I pretty much guarantee there'll be a stipulation of, if you win the title, you're getting stripped of your 145 title. But you'll still hold the record. You'll hold the record. We'll let you hold it for a day, but then you're getting stripped. Yeah. I think that'll be the stipulation, because I think Conor then will just be at 155.
Yeah, well, he will be. Of course.
You know what I mean? So
it's you know, it's a belt for a belt, so you're not going to be bothered by it.
I just, you know, I genuinely think that Conor, obviously he's probably changed his body so much now that you probably can't make 145. You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. And how good does he?
I think he could still make 45.
Yeah,
like,
just after, how much time does he need? And again, that's holding up the division.
Well, you look at it. He said himself. He weighed in at 168, but by the time he came into the cage, he was 167.
Yeah.
So that doesn't happen. It's meant to go the other way.
Yeah, no, that's
would
very
you
true.
would you necessarily agree with that fight?
Alvarez,
McGregor, you would?
Great fight.
Yeah.
Great fight.
I wouldn't.
Well, Alvarez has just won his belt.
Yeah, but McGregor hasn't fought.
But hold on, we talked about this so many occasions. Super fights.
Yeah,
two champions of two weight classes is a super fight.
But he hasn't defended.
Well, hold on, right. So it's
just
RDA.
It's
the fight that originally was meant to happen was RDA, and we were all excited for it. So if RDA had beaten Eddie Alvarez, do you think McGregor RDA is the fight?
I don't know. I thought when McGregor lost that first fight against Diaz, I thought that kind of
the mystique is gone.
A little bit, just because like it was perfect. They both were champions. They both didn't lose, and it was set up. I thought it was perfect. But then once he moved, he fought out fucking welterweight against a guy who can make lightweight. I still don't understand that. Lost the first one, came back and he won that one. Great. But then it's kind of like, yeah, he's a champ at 45, but I don't know. It just feels straight. It doesn't feel like that's the super fight. It's still a super fight, but
it's
just
still like you'd create history. The first man to ever do
it.
Of
course, it create history. It doesn't mean.
So what do you think? What do you think's next? This is what the question was. So I'm saying Alvarez.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's the next fight. I really wouldn't. Yeah.
Money wise, it's probably Alvarez. Business, it's probably Alvarez.
Good show.
Is that right? Probably not, because featherweight gets put on hold again.
Yeah, but like in fairness.
What do you do then with the featherweight belt?
I say, well, he's interim. So if you strip McGregor, I think if McGregor's going to fight again,
they'll probably fight, but it'll be for the unified belt then. Do you know what I mean? As in, Aldo would still fight. He'd come out wearing the black as being the champion, but he'd be still the interim champion until he fights to clarify that he's won it. The belt would be vacant. So the UFC belt would be vacant.
What's the point in having an interim title then if you're
promotion?
Champion?
Yeah, what's promotion. It's the keep the division ticking.
I mean, if Conor gets stripped, what's the point in having that fight in the first place? Because Jose Aldo just beat Frankie Edgar, who was clearly the number 3 in that division. Like,
Max Holloway's the man for that.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
But anyway, so what's next for Conor? Come on, answer the fucking question.
I think it's going to be that.
Eddie Alvarez.
Yeah.
That's the business fight.
The next one isn't too hard to break down. Is Humble Rumble against Daniel Cormier. That's the fight.
Yeah.
They were asked about what if John Jones comes back. Like, John Jones should have to sit in the back of the queue. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know, even if his thing is tainted, whatever,
it's just
and he's innocent.
Yeah, it's just too much.
Even if he is innocent and all that. Now, Johnson has had fights. He's worked his way up the ladder again. So that has to be it. And Cormier has said, don't want to fight Johnson. So that's common sense. This is the intriguing one, though, is Cowboy. What's next for Cowboy? Because he called out Alvarez in the cage.
Yeah.
And he was saying that the UFC, he'd always say, I'll fight anyone, anywhere, which is deadly and sounds great as a soundboy. But they're like, no, fuck it, call people out.
Yeah.
Make their job easier.
Yeah.
So he did. He called out Alvarez. He has a win over Alvarez. So this could be finally getting to see Cowboy have a belt around him, you know. But again, if we're going down the angle of Conor and Alvarez, that's not going to happen for him.
Yeah.
Personally, myself, I don't think he's that far away from a title shot at 170.
Neither do I.
He's beaten some of the best at 170. Like, you know what I mean? There's only a few more people ahead of him. Maybe one more fight and he'd have a title shot there. Like, you know, I genuinely think he should stay at 170.
Fucking Cowboys.
That'd be an amazing fight. That'd be an amazing fight.
Signing new contracts for it.
Well, assuming that
fucking the winner of Maia versus Condit.
Yeah, like it depends. That division's really weird now because who's
do Condit and Cowboy.
You could
or Maia.
The division's kind of weird because who's Woodley gonna fight? Woodley's talking about fighting GSP. He's talking about fighting. I don't know. If he fights the most logical fight, we'll say Wonder Boy. If that's the most logical fight.
Yeah, and the thing is with Woodley is like, he's the champion, but not a lot of mainstream know who he is. Yeah. That's the problem there.
Yeah.
A lot of people know who Donald Cerrone is, so you know you probably would get that fucking fight.
Just because the division's weird, we're gonna say Woodley's fights Wonder Boy, and then obviously we have the fight between Maia.
Which
you gotta break down.
Great timing because it's this weekend. So
exactly.
It's the same sort of layoff.
So would you go with that? Would you go if assuming that Wonder Boy gets the shot, the winner of Maia?
Yeah,
that's what I do.
Yeah, I think so.
That's what
number
I do.
one contender fight. Yeah,
100%.
You could. almost argue that Condit and Maia, this is a number one contendership fight. You could have that argument. The winner of this gets the champion.
It just depends on the time
you
frame.
You could make the argument as well.
Probably all our Cowboy Cerrone.
Yeah, you could make the argument as well that if Condit does win this fight, that maybe he doesn't get the title shot because he lost his last fight, and he'll probably have to, build himself up again. You could make that argument, but if he beats Maia, how many fucking wins does Maia have at welterweight at this age?
That would be crazy.
So
Nick Diaz.
Yeah, well, Nick's going to be in the melting pot. That'd be a good fight too.
Yeah, Nate and Cerrone fought before.
I think Nick Diaz has to start at the bottom, to be honest with you.
No, as in fight Cowboy.
Fight Cowboy, yeah.
Why would he fight Cowboy at 170?
Well, huge fight. Bit of history there.
Yeah, a bit of history, huge fight.
I think Nick Diaz has been out for so long.
Yeah, but who would you put Nick?
You're not going to put him in with a pup.
Yeah. I think you have to.
Nah, but that's unfair. That's unfair on the pup.
Yeah, but that's the pup's fault.
No,
it's
the pup's fault. The pup done nothing.
The pup done nothing.
Fuck him, strangle it, drown that little bastard.
Stop. See that video? You won't drown the pups in the river.
No,
yeah, I've seen that. That's awful.
It's
awful.
Horrible bitch.
Poor fucking river.
Yeah, so that's interesting to see where. There's that word. Interesting to see where it's going. Where different people. So in honor of last night. With the main event, we done our weekly list this week, so which essentially is the best non-title main events, because normally main events are title fights a lot of the times. So we went through a list of the best fights that were headlining the card that weren't title fights, because obviously last night Conor and Nate wasn't, and it was an absolute fucking barn burner.
Instant classic.
So an instant classic. So we didn't put this one in the top 5 list just because it just happened and it's in honour of this.
Yeah.
And it's very fresh.
Yeah,
so
nice and fresh. So we're going to work our way up from 5 up, as we like to do.
Yeah.
So again, agree or disagree with this. He's having an opinion, but fuck, you're wrong. Aaron's right. No, we sort of threw this together and we backed and forth about it, and it's sort of, it looks good to me on paper here. Yeah. So the first fight, sitting in number 5, was an absolute fucking throwdown. Was Wanderlei Silva versus Brian Stann. So Mr. Marine, Mr. America, fighting fucking no respect Wanderlei. An absolute fucking war of a fight.
Yeah.
It was like they said, right, we're only allowed barely touch toes and standing for the put us in a phone box and we'll fight.
Yeah, pretty much.
Basically,
how much is how big is the octagon? It's like 25 feet or
30,
something.
32 fucking.
Yeah, they enclosed it.
Like so, they were like, let's not use that.
Yeah.
Let's pick a corner.
Like, put a stamp down in the middle of the and let's stand on the stamp.
And finished in the second round, was it?
Second round
knockout for Wanderlei. Yeah, and he crumbled him, didn't he? Yeah, proper.
But like Wanderlei got caught in the first round and went down. At one stage, Stan threw a shot and he threw it so fucking hard and he missed that he threw himself to the ground with the velocity of a shot.
Yeah, it was an absolute crazy fight.
It was a crazy
worthy of being on the list, in my opinion.
It was literally rock'em sock'em robots.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
100%.
So that was sitting in number 5. Agree with us, disagree with us. This man on number 4 could have been any of his fucking fights. Diego the Nightmare Sanchez versus Clay the Carpenter Guida. Now, we were watching this back today as well, looking at it. The first 30 seconds of this fight alone are fucking madness.
Yeah.
This was a crazy fight. Again, if you haven't seen these, go on to Fight Pass or even go on to YouTube and just put these fights in. But check out
I think
Sanchez
in the first 1 minute, Sanchez probably threw about 25 uppercuts.
Yeah, and they were fucking uppercuts.
And
they were
literally lining them up like this.
He was in. I think it was in Vegas, was it? But he was throwing them from Albuquerque.
Yeah,
that's how fucking big them uppercuts were. They were fucking from miles. They were serious. And Guida took it. And at the end of the first round, Guida, as he's walking back to his corner, looks at the camera like he knows that was round 1.
Keep in mind, Guida looked like a fucking sanitary towel.
Yeah.
Blood all over him. Second period joke.
What time was that now? Right
that one's fucking staying in. That was a great joke. Go fuck yourself, prick.
That was an absolute crazy hysterical fight. So that was number 4 on the list. Number 3 is the most recent fight that we have on the list, and that's Anderson Silva versus Michael Bisping that took place in London. Was it in London? Was it Manchester? London. It was London. London.
UK.
But this was Bisping. Always wanted to fight Silva. Never lost on English soil. Got knocked out at the end of the third round.
Anderson thought he won.
Yeah, Anderson was on the cage.
cage.
Get down. Hey, wait, Debbie, get down.
Show no respect.
But yeah, an absolute barn burner of a fight. I remember watching this on a phone backstage at Bama.
Yeah.
It was fucking amazing fight. Amazing fight. And clearly, for me, notable of that list, 100%.
Yeah, and put Bisping on the trajectory
exactly
to the title.
That's it, you know, like after this fight then Bisping, was it that after that fight he got his title shot?
because it was the short notice
Yeah,
against
that's
Luke.
right. So
Luke,
it
handsome
just
Rockhold.
it's crazy when you see that, and like people at the time were going, oh, it's so nice that Bisping's finally getting to fight Anderson Silva, and you know, it's finally happened to Pete Anderson isn't the champion
and
anymore.
Bisping looked phenomenal in
and
the
he
fight.
looked
Perfect game
fantastic.
plan,
Looked fantastic.
Yeah.
Say what you want about that third round, shit happens.
Yeah.
It happened the
But
way
he
it
came out
happened.
like a beast in the
Yeah,
fourth.
Exactly,
That's the thing,
exactly. He got knocked the fuck out.
Didn't get a
And-
cut man in his corner.
Yeah.
Didn't get anything done in his
No.
corner whatsoever. Like,
And he came out.
completely
And he
dazed.
came out in the fourth round on the
Phenomenal.
front
Yeah.
foot.
Yeah.
So
Great fight.
unbelievable.
Again,
Yeah.
an absolute great
Well
fight.
done, Bisping.
Yeah.
Well done, Mike. Number 2 on the list. This is one of these fights that if someone said to me, what's all this MMA about? Oh, is this any good, is it? I go, watch this fight.
Yeah.
And this was Dan Henderson versus Mauricio Shogun Hua. This was... Dan Henderson looked like he had the fight won.
Yeah.
And then the Grim Reaper said to Shogun, no, go on, you can go back out and have another round there, go on.
Yeah.
And Shogun came out and looked like he had Henderson fucking finished. This was an unbelievable fight, wasn't it?
It was crazy. Absolutely crazy. We were watching it in the gaff. in the gaff. And
Steak.
Yeah. Steak and spuds.
Yeah, steak and spuds.
We were sitting in the gaff and
Gaff is Irish for house there,
House,
just
yeah,
for
yeah,
our North
yeah.
Korean and German listeners.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, ter house. So how did the Germans say
Dunno.
house? I don't know. Showers of death,
Don't.
probably.
I knew it was coming.
That's a beep.
Oh,
That's not fuck off. It's not being starting.
We're way
I'm
past-
actually
we're way
starting to get
past
annoyed.
beeping
Yeah, I know. Train of thought.
Train of thought.
Can't remember. Speaking of trains and Germans,
Don't.
but
Oh, wow. Shogun, you were watching it in the gaff.
yeah, we were watching it in the house, and I was with I think it was with you, Robert,
Was, yeah,
Paul,
that was me.
and possibly Ryan. I can't fucking
Yeah,
remember.
the fight was
But
terrible.
literally, I just remember the whole time. Not even
Yeah.
sitting down,
Yeah,
just
just like-
screaming at the
Yeah,
telly.
just
Oh,
like, holy
you're like
fuck.
just screaming at it. Absolutely unbelievable. Sweating the whole time watching it.
Yeah,
I felt like
unbelievable,
I had been in that fight after
Yeah.
watching it. It was
Phenomenal
fucking
fight.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
you like if you seen that in a movie, you'd be like, "Fuck that! Can't
That's not
be-
real.
No,
Yeah.
that's not
That's
fucking
not
real.
real.
It's fake. It's
Yeah,
fake.
that wouldn't happen.
No.
Fucking crazy fight.
Madness.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's one of my favourite fights of all time.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
one of my
ridiculous.
favourite fights of all time.
So you're thinking, what fucking topped that? What was a bigger headline fight than that? I'll fucking tell you what was. The original
The
Ultimate
original.
Fighter.
The OG.
Forrest Griffin versus Stephen Bonner. Again, if somebody was asking me what's this MMA about,
Yeah.
watch this fight.
Yeah.
Now, I think nostalgia has
Yeah,
got
it
this to
does.
number 1 as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah.
Because at the time, UFC was dead in its arse. Well, it wasn't. It was the Fertitas and
It was a
then
struggle.
it was, yeah,
Oh,
they
it
were
was,
they were
yeah.
building. It was launching.
Apparently, they
the
put that
Ultimate
last money into the Ultimate
Yeah,
Fighter.
the Ultimate Fighter was the fucking home run, the fucking Hail Mary, the
Yeah.
fucking, you know what I mean, whatever, John Anik. And Forrest and Stephen literally stood toe to toe. And we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago, going, can you imagine if Twitter was around and shit? Like,
Yeah.
There was literally people ringing one another in America going, turn on Spike TV.
Yeah.
This is madness,
Yeah.
what's going down. And it was just, for the history in it, what happened to both fighters. Both fighters had hugely successful careers. Obviously, Forrest was a bit more successful winning the title. Two of them are big personalities in MMA. But for what it done for the sport, for the launch pad for both fighters, the launch pad for the UFC, this for me belongs on the summit of this list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phenomenal fight as well.
Like, you touched on it there now about, could you imagine if Twitter was around at the time? Like, just to, like, kind of put into perspective, I remember when, you know, it's a kind of weird thing to think of, but when Bin Laden was killed.
Jesus
Like,
Christ. Where is your train of thought tonight?
I don't know.
Periods, Germans, and now you're on Bin Laden.
Yeah, bleeding Muslim terrorists. Like, but like that I remember literally getting ready to go to bed.
Before you say it any further, I'm actually genuinely nervous right now. What cards
I'm very PG. All right, very PG.
Pornographic.
Yeah. But like that night, I'll never forget that. I was getting ready to go to bed. I think it was like probably about 4 o'clock in the morning. I was like, fuck it, I'll just check Twitter before I go to bed. It's always a good thing to do, because if anything is breaking, you'll see it.
Yeah.
And fucking newsfeed filling like Bin Laden dead, all this shit, and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, could you imagine how much that fight would have blown up?
How you're connecting the ultimate fighter and Bin Laden. I know what you're doing, but it's a weird one, but
You've missed the little blown up pun as well, but still, whatever.
God.
Like how big that would have been, like if something like that had been around.
List
probably go up. You never know. You might get a few fucking radical American Christians in, you know. You wouldn't know, but it's good crack. It's all in good fun, you know. It's grand, like.
If you're in work and you're listening to this at a loud volume, lower it down. I do apologise. Carl, continue your Bin Laden rant. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying.
Just
imagine?
No, I know you're
imagine that. Bin Laden, similar.
Hashtag Ultimate Fighter. Holy fuck! This is amazing.
It would have been unbelievable. Like absolutely, I would have. I just wish there was a time machine to bring back Twitter, set it all up the year before the fucking Ultimate Fighter, just to see what happened. Like, it'd be amazing. It'd be absolutely amazing.
A couple of notables in there. We had Couture against Big Nog.
Yeah, great.
And then we have a list. So I'll just go Sanchez against Campman. Sanchez against Caro Parisian. Sanchez versus Nick Diaz. And then Condit Campman was another fight, another cracker as well.
So basically, if you want a great fight, put Sanchez in the main event.
Not just Google Diego Sanchez highlights and you'll see some fucking stunners.
Crazy.
But so that list again was Vanderlei Silva, Brian Stan in at number 5. Diego Sanchez, Clay Guida, little giggle. Love my own guy. Clay Guida, Diego Sanchez number 4. Anderson Silva versus Michael Bisping number 3. Dan Henderson versus Mauricio Shogun Hua number 2. And Forrest Griffin versus Stephan Bonner number 1. Agree with us? Don't agree with us? It's fucking great.
Comment below. YouTube is a beautiful place.
Huh?
It's a fucking cesspool.
It's a beautiful place. The YouTube comment section, it's a beautiful place.
No,
it's not. It's like fucking Syria. What are you talking about? It's a hellhole.
Oh, here we go. Jesus Christ. Right, so before Carl starts going off about Syria, UFC on Fox 21, Maia versus Carlos Condit going down this weekend. We're just going to do, for people who comment on YouTube videos going, I'd sit around for an hour and you've only done the main event. Fuck's sake. Yeah, so we're only doing the main card and then we do the under the radar. Yeah. But thanks for your feedback.
Yeah.
So first fight of the night is Joe Lozon versus Jim Miller. This is a rematch. The first one was a bloodbath.
Jesus.
It was phenomenal. All it was missing was fucking Patrick Bateman walking around in the background with an axe. It was fucking stunning, playing fucking Genesis. This is an awesome fight. I love Joe Lozon. I'm going to kick off the picks. Joe Lozon is going to win this fight. It's going to be a barn burner. Both of them are coming off very good victories. Both look very good in their last fights. Both of them have also had a lull in their career, but their last fight was a big step up and got them back on the winning trains, Carl. So Jim Miller looked phenomenal. His movement, his finishing, his striking is lethal on the ground, and I think the two of them nullify one another on the ground. So I think it is going to come to a striking match, and I was just hugely impressed by Joe Lozon, his head movement, the striking. He likes to get involved in a brawl, but I think he's going to be more tactical. I said that when he fought Diego. That if he gets involved in a brawl, it could go against him. I made a mess of that. But involved in a brawl, we got it that right. But I think Lozon, again, purple patch. I think he's coming into it. He goes through stages like that as well, where he's dropped. I think this is a purple patch, and I just think Joe Lozon will get it done. And I'm going to say it's going to be madness, and it'll be a fight we'll all enjoy. But Lozon will get it done in round 2. TKO.
For me, this is again, it's a really it's a pick'em, it's a coin flip. The first fight was close enough. I thought they both looked really good in it. It was, as you said, it was an absolute bloodbath. The last fight that they both had was on the same card, as you said. Both of them looked really good. I think at this point, Lauzon's win over Diego was probably a better win than Jim Miller over Gomi. Gomi looks like he's really declining. Not that Diego isn't, because he really is, but Diego did look pretty decent in his last couple of fights. On this one, again, it really is a coin flip for me. Lauzon, both of them can be inconsistent. I think Jim Miller and Lauzon on the ground,
make your fucking mind up.
Yeah, I'm pulling the Carl from last week.
Yeah,
I'm just I'm trying to like
delay your
delay it until something comes to me.
You'll do nothing. Nothing. Get the fuck out of here. You'll do nothing. You and your little fucking essays. Get out.
I don't have a water bottle.
I'm gonna go with.
Hold on, it's not empty. Jake Shields.
Is it empty?
Yeah. That was like Jake Shields. Yeah. That man is a fucking terrible throw.
But what I read, no, I'm not gonna. We won't talk about that. I'm gonna go with Lauzon. Yeah, coin flip Lauzon. It's a tough fight. I can't even.
Are you doing your hashtag win decision, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I am.
Hashtag win decision. Crazy Carl Doran. What's your one?
I'm gonna go with Joe Lauzon. That's it.
It's yeah.
You gave Masasi in it, are you?
Yeah, no, I'm only messing. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Joe Lauzon because he had a pajama party the other night. Seems like my sort of thing. Yeah. I think it's.
I'm getting worried again.
Yeah.
Where's this going?
Relax yourself, will you?
Relax.
Jesus Christ.
I'm fucking petrified.
Just don't know what's gonna come out at any point. Like, it's hilarious. It's just that last fight was amazing. Like, I loved that fight. It was amazing. And as you said, it was a fucking bloodbath. I'm gonna go with Joe Lauzon because I picked Jim Miller. Jesus, a while ago.
Yeah, against Diego.
Yeah, he let me down against Diego. Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna go with Lauzon, and you know. I loved fucking Joe Lauzon. He's an absolute. He seems like just a nice bloke.
I love his vlogs. He does great vlogs.
Yeah. I'm gonna apologise for our prediction now because we literally all went Lauzon.
Yeah. So he went Lauzon.
Well,
I said he was fucking. He looked sharp. He wasn't getting involved in the brawl. His hands looked good. He looked fantastic.
I apologise for me and Carl then.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Fucking do nothing, you will.
Yeah.
Nothing. Moving on to the next bout, you have Paige Van Zandt, 12 gauge, taking on Rowdy Beck Rowlands. So Paige is coming back from her dancing shoes. She's taking them off. She's painting her toenails, and she's back in the octagon against Beck Rowlands, which Carl described as a bit of a journey one.
No, Robert did.
I did.
Did you not just agree to make it sound like I was listening to you earlier?
Yeah. No.
Okay, so I went first this time. Who are you going with? Give us your picks.
I'll go first because I went last. I'm leaning towards Paige, and I'll explain why. Like, yeah, she's been out for a while and she's been away from mixed martial arts, and I think she really needed that break. She took a beating off Rose Namajunas, and you know we haven't seen her for a while. But her stock hasn't really fallen too much. She's still been in the news and mixed martial arts news because of the whole Dancing with the Stars stuff. Wherever I really couldn't give a shite, but her stock hasn't really fallen. Beck Rollins, wherever. She's a decent fighter, like, but Betch,
Betch go here.
Yeah, Beck. She gets into scrappy fights, and I think that suits Paige. Paige in the scramble is really fucking good in the scramble, like really good, and her wrestling's pretty fucking decent. I don't know. I think Beck, Bladen, Beck. Yeah, she Rawlings.
Yeah,
that helps.
Yeah.
Rawlings. I think she's more so she'll want to keep her on the feet. I think she'll want to kind of keep it there and get into a brawl, kind of that sort of fight. She can win it on the ground, but I just don't think she'll want to take it there. I think for Paige, it's an absolute tune. I think Paige has to get it to the ground. I don't think she should stay standing with her, to be honest, because we're saying that our stand-up skills aren't really the best, you know what I mean? But I definitely think she needs to set up her takedowns. And I think the longer the fight goes on, the better for Paige. I don't know if Beck has the same cardio as her. I'm going to go with Paige, and I'm going to say Paige Van Zandt via decision. I just think that just don't stay standing and just don't get into a brawl on the feet. Mind your P's and Q's. If you can, put her up against the cage and take her down. That should be our key to victory, pretty much. So I'm gonna go with Van Zandt via decision.
Nice. I think you touched on everything. I'm gonna go with Van Zandt. I do think she's pretty good. I think against Alex Chambers and against Felice Herrig, she looked really good on the ground. Again, you said her scrambling ability is really good. I do agree. She was out scrambled by Rose Namajunas, but we know how good Rose is. Get Beck, as I said, bit of a journey woman, I'll say. But she is tough. The only thing, I think Paige Van Zandt really does have the cardio in this one. You're seeing against Namajunas, a lot of other fighters there would have gave up and would have gave away the choke or something, and she stayed in it, and she took a beating for 3-5 rounds, wasn't it? And then eventually she lost by the submission. But a lot of other fighters would have kind of gave up earlier than that, because she was taking a hide, and she really stayed in there, showed that she does have heart. I think she learned a lot from that fight.
Fucking pens down me tits in.
King's gone, isn't it? He might have fucking leather bound books, but he's a fucking big pen to go with it.
Did you fix it?
Lick the knob, Carl, or the nib. Sorry, the nib.
Used to licking knobs.
You are?
Yeah.
Fair enough. I'm gonna go with Paige. I'm gonna say in a decision.
# win decision. I am also I feel I should pick Rowling Sages to be different, but I'm not. I'm going with Paige Van Zandt. She reminds me of a little Tasmanian devil. She's just a little ball of energy that just, she's wild because she's, I'm not going to say she's new, but you know what I mean. She doesn't. She's not a master.
Doesn't refine the technique.
Exactly.
Yeah, she's a bit wild.
But she's wild. She's a very good gas tank. I don't think technically she's amazing. I just think she gets through with her heart that you were pointing to, and her energy and her attacks. She's relentless. Like, she's lightning quick. She's fast.
Yeah.
So I think she will get it done. Again, I don't think if she stands and gets involved in a brawl, which is Beck Rawlings' type of fight, that's where she's going to lose out. But I think, like the scrambles, I think she could possibly get a sub, but I'm going to be boring too, unless a wild scramble happens and an arm appears and she latches onto the arm or gets the back and gets a choke. I am going to go with a decision win as well.
Beck is hard to finish. I don't think she's been finished in her career.
So apologies there, we're all agreeing. But sure, anyway, your co-main event of the evening is Showtime. Anthony Pettis taking on Charles the Bronx Oliveira. So Rob, you're up first, I believe.
On this one I'm going to go, this is at 45, isn't it? Pettis is moving down. I'm going to go with Pettis in this one. He's on a bit of a dip.
He's gone 4-0, or is he 3-0?
I think it's 3-0, yeah, 0-3.
See, the trick is, don't get on a fucking box of Weedos, Carl.
Yeah, that's the trick, yeah.
Go on a box of Weedos, you're fucked.
Yeah, I'll make sure I never go on a box of Weedos.
What's the other course
Wheaties.
on Wheaties, isn't it? Yeah, what's the other course?
The EA Sports cover, isn't it?
The ESPN fucking
magazine as well.
Cover,
yeah, they're all courses. I like Charles Oliveira. I think he's really, really talented, especially on the ground, and he's really developing a good stand-up game. But he's a bit of a weird fighter. Sometimes he gets hurt in areas where you're like, I don't even know what happened there. Remember against Holloway, like, pulled his neck or something.
Yeah.
He got hurt by Swanson, where it was a kind of a weird punch that he hit him and then he kind of just fell down. I think the submission game would be interesting, but I do think Pettis is good enough not to get caught in something. I don't think Oliveira has the wrestling to get Pettis on his back. The only problem is Pettis sometimes can be a bit stacked, but I think this move to 45 would be good for him. He's a little bit undersized at 55 at times against some of the bigger guys. And I do think Pettis still does have a very, very good stand-up game, and I think he can really hurt Oliveira if he lands, especially to the body. Sometimes Oliveira gets hurt to the body, and if Pettis can land those body kicks like landing against Cerrone in that one fight, I think it could be trouble. So I'm going to go with Anthony Pettis. I'm going to actually say he's going to finish him. I'm going to say he's going to finish him in the second round by TKO.
Nice. I'm in the fucking hell. Stop agreeing. I'm in the same boat here. I just think Pettis, this is a must-win fight.
Oh yeah.
To go from champion to Weedos boxes, to 3 in the hole. Trains under Duke Rufus as well. So I just think Oliveira's jiu-jitsu, you were saying, Rob, is phenomenal when it gets to the ground. But I just think Anthony Pettis is going to be smart enough not to. He got frustrated because he was fighting nothing but grapplers. They were just taking him down. But Oliveira will stand with him as well.
No, he will, yeah.
And I just think technique, Pettis is phenomenal. He's quick. Some of the techniques he throws, like we've all seen, the Superman punch off the cage and stuff, and the kick as well on fucking Henderson, where he ran up the wall like the fucking Matrix and kicked him.
Showtime.
So like I just think you're going to see a very determined and focused Anthony Pettis here.
Did he train under Greg Jackson for this one? Remember he went down for a camp?
Well, I know his head coach is Duke Rufus.
Yeah.
But I just think he's going to revert back to almost like what Conor done last night. Do the simple things, but do them well. And I think that's what's going to get him this fight. Take away Oliveira's legs, work the body like you were saying. Them shots, dig them shots in, make Bass Rutten go, fuck yeah. But yeah, I just see Pettis, and I agree with you, in the round and everything. I see Pettis getting it done and getting him out of there in round 2. TKO, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to go with Pettis myself. I think my reasoning as well is Oliveira at 145. That cut for him is horrible. It's absolutely horrible for him. And like I don't know about yourselves, but I've heard horror stories of Pettis back in the past. Of Oliveira in the past cutting weight. Mike Dolce was saying that they were at a hotel, and it was when Oliveira actually pulled out of a fight, saying he was sick. And really it was because his weight cut was so bad that he just had no energy, and he had flu-like symptoms. If anybody's had the flu, you know how horrible it is.
Oh man, flu was real.
Yeah,
flu is like, if flu was so bad that they say people will probably only ever get it like once or twice in your whole life, like, you know what I mean? So to have that is really fucking bad. Like, and what Dolce was saying was like the day before the weigh-in is that Oliveira is in the sauna in a fucking skin tight suit, jogging, doing everything, trying to get down, and basically passed out in the fucking sauna. And then his corner is dragging him out next to the pool and just throwing water over him. That's awful. That's absolutely awful. I imagine since then he's changed some things you wouldn't know, but I just think the weight cut's a huge factor for him. I think Pettis' mindset of a champion, hopefully. He's usually very professional when it comes to his weight cuts. I don't think I've ever seen Pettis miss weight. I imagine going to 145.
I think it'll make it easy. I think it's going to suit him weight class. Because you were saying he would be the bigger, not the bigger man, but he was small at 55.
And it's not only that. Like, Pettis he's not the big muscle bound freak. You know, he's not that guy.
Lean.
Yeah, he's lean. He's not that guy. You know, so I think the weight cut shouldn't be too harsh on Anthony Pettis. As for actual in ring ability, I just think on the stand up, Oliveira, he's quite good standing up, but Pettis is just head and shoulders above, you know what I mean? So, and even if it goes to the ground, I think, to be honest, it's pretty even. Anthony Pettis' ground game slick as really fuck. Good. Slick as fuck. When you see what he done to Benson Henderson, who just refuses to tap out. He bends every way. You know what I mean? And
Benson Henderson.
Exactly. And Anthony Pettis caught him in an armbar and made him tap out. Like, that's ridiculous. So, I'm gonna go with Pettis, and I think, I don't know if it'll be a knockout. I hope there is, obviously, for sheer excitement. But I'm going to say Pettis will come in. He'd be nice and relaxed, reserved. I think he'd be similar to Conor in that he'd be really trying something new, testing the game plan, new weight class, all of the above. And I think he'd be a little bit more reserved, but I think he'll win by decision.
And just for reference, Oliveira has missed weight 3 times.
So there you go.
Including his last fight.
So, main event of the evening, Damian Maia versus the natural born killer, Carlos Condit. What a fight. Great fight. My favourite fighter. Not man crush. Carlos Condit, for me, I'm going to go with Damian Maia in this one. I just, fuck that shit. Carlos Condit, again, this is an intriguing fight. It's almost like an old school. I'm not going to say striker versus grappler because Condit has great grappling as well, but it's just Damian Maia is just
he's a different level.
It's like a video game. I'm making a video game reference again, where you get so many points and you can top up all your skill levels, and it's just like Damian Maia topped up all his grappling levels first, and then start adding to the rest. Carlos Condit is a lot more well-rounded, if you like, in that sense. I love Carlos Condit's striking. I think he's the most technical striker in the UFC. I love he'll throw weird kicks from weird angles. The way he throws it, and I like the way he bounces into combinations. I like his movement. He's not afraid to throw the kicks because he's pretty fucking slick off his fucking back. He's a lot of submissions. The surprising fact there is that subs is 43%, Condit 48%, which is low when you think about Damian Maia. So it'll be interesting. There it is, interesting. Will Condit throw as many kicks because he doesn't want to go to the it's almost like when people were talking about Conor and Nate again. When it's on the ground, if Conor was in an all right position, he'd do well with Nate on the ground. His jiu-jitsu was good. And you're in a shit position with a black belt.
You don't want to.
That's when you're fucked.
Yeah.
And I just that's what the part for me. Will Carlos throw as many kicks as regular as he does to Damian Maia? Damian Maia's striking has come on leaps and bounds as well. But when Damian Maia is on his feet, let there be no doubt about it, he's in Carlos Condit's swimming pool. Yeah. But when it goes to the ground, Carlos Condit's swimming in Maia's pool. Even though both of them are strong swimmers in one another's pool.
This guy.
They ain't gonna win fucking gold medals against the other guy. So Olympics reference. Phenomenal. So I just think in a sense it's striker versus grappling, but not to the old school state, because both of them are very capable on it. But I think with this being a 5-round fight, that's going to come into play, and I think that's going to play into Carlos Condit's hands. And I think Carlos Condit's going to get the job done late, and he's going to finish Damian Maia either in the end of the 4th or mid-5th.
Yeah.
So I do think he's going to finish it in the latter rounds. Condit has been in there with George St. Pierre, who very different ground game, but took Carlos Condit down regularly in the fight, and Condit struggled to get out of it, but he still hung in there.
Yeah.
And I think Maia will tire. I genuinely do, and that's where I think the fight is going to be won. It's going to be a war of attrition in that sense, and Condit will just shine through in the latter rounds.
Yeah, I'm in agreement.
Sorry,
again.
Carl, I feel like I'm upsetting you by saying this.
Not at all. Not at all. Like, yes,
your fucking hands off.
Yeah.
You'll do nothing.
Imagine. Just fucking don't touch me.
Don't touch me. My space.
Yeah, I'm in agreement as well. I do think the cardio. I think the 5 rounds definitely play it. If this was 3 rounds, I'd probably lean towards Maia, just because I think over 3 rounds he'd probably be able to control Condit on the ground, because the one thing about Condit, he's really, really good off his back, but he'll attack a lot off his back, and he doesn't really try to stand up as urgently as probably you want it to happen. But over 5 rounds, I do think that Condit might not be able to get caught, and then once it's on the feet, I think there's a bigger gap between Condit and Maia on the feet than there is on the ground in terms of how dangerous it is.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, like grappling for grappling, like Maia is so much better, but I think Condit can survive better than Maia can survive on the feet, if you know what I mean. So I do think that over 5 rounds, I just can't see Maia not getting caught. If you look at Maia's last fight, he looked great against Matt Brown, but he still got caught, and he got rocked at one point, and just Matt couldn't really capitalise on it. But I think this time, if Condit can catch him, he has such creative striking. If he can catch him with something, he'll finish him off.
I love Condit.
Yeah, I know. So you're just like, oh, you pick Condit, go on, just pick him.
Just say his name. Yeah. Say his name. Say it.
Condit's gonna win. I'm going to pick Condit to win by a TKO in the 4th round.
4th round. Great 4th round as well.
Yeah, in agreement. So, that's where I'm going with this one.
I'm going with Maia.
Yeah.
No fucking way. Get out of here.
Yeah, I'm going with Maia. Just for something that you said, Robert, is that off his back, Carlos Condit will attack.
Yeah.
And he definitely will attack.
Leave openings like
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think with Maia's ability to get the fight to the ground, it's a different style of takedown. It's very much so the jiu-jitsu style of takedowns. It's I'm going to wrap my hands around your waist, I'm going to go low, and I'm going to pick a leg. That's usually how he does it. So, not saying that every round is going to go like that. I just think at some point, the majority of times that will happen. So I think Maia is definitely capable of getting the fight to the ground, and I think on the feet it's a no contest. Maia has to get it to the ground, but just don't get desperate. He definitely needs to be very careful, try not fall into any traps on the feet. Obviously we know Carlos is going to feint. I think he'll throw the kicks now, but I definitely think he'll be more reserved with them for sure. Like it's
a big part of his game, though, isn't it?
But that's it exactly. Like Condit throws kicks the way most people throw jabs, if that makes sense. It's his bread and butter. He uses it to set things up. I think Condit then off of his back, if he has Damian Maia in his guard, Maia of course is going to have to be careful. But like, who's Maia rolling with on a daily basis? You know what I mean? Especially in competition, I think the fact that they're going to be allowed to strike definitely opens up other areas of the game. But Condit off his back, he is very aggressive, and I think that will play into Maia's game for sure. I think that will allow Damian Maia to pass, possibly to threaten. I think cardio might be a factor, but I think also Maia is well aware of that. You'd imagine that Maia is coming into this fight knowing it's a 5-round fight, obviously. It's something that he's going to have to work on, because he looked a little bit tired against Matt Brown towards the end. I definitely agree. But I think Damian Maia, he's no fucking idiot. Like, you know what I mean? He's no idiot. He's a very, very smart man, as is Condit. But I just think Maia on the ground is just too much on the ground, like, for anybody, pretty much anybody. I'd say Maia, 5th round submission. Yeah, I think nice. 5th round submission. I think it's definitely going to be a long fight and very, very technical. Nah, not at all. Not at all.
He's getting knocked the fuck out.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just,
it's a great fight.
There's something about the fight that I'm like,
I'm going to use the old one, and I hate when people say this, and because it's just annoying. You're like, oh, well done, Mr. Obvious.
Yeah.
All fights start standing though.
They do. Yeah, that's very true.
And
they
like,
do.
as much as you're saying, in one hand you said they're both smart fighters, but then you said Condit will attack from the bottom. I think he'll be smart enough to not attack. He'll sort of survive and try and get the stand up.
He's losing there then.
No, but not to either stall the action or to get up. I don't think he's going to. I think he'll still attack, but he won't make himself vulnerable to that. He'll attack to try and get out, if you know what I mean.
See, my thing as well there is, I think Condit will scoot up against the cage, and obviously that's the smart thing to do, but that's not a smart thing to do against Damian Maia. If you see Damian Maia's back takes, a lot of them come from off the cage.
That's he gets him down though.
Yeah, no, that's very true, but if he does, you don't want to be flat on your back in the middle of the octagon either, so he will go to the cage. But I think Damian Maia he's worked his mixed martial arts, jiu-jitsu, so you see the way he takes people's backs up against the cage. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. So it's a very, very intriguing fight. It's very intriguing.
That's what makes this fight so good.
I was real when this got removed from 202. I was like,
I was the same. I was the same. But
great fight.
It's a great. I can't wait to see it.
It's mad. We've all agreed. I thought you would have went with Maia. But so that's our picks for the
go through the picks.
So we all went lows on. We all went Page. We all went Pettis. And me and Rob went Maia. I know we didn't. Me and Rob went Condit, and Carr went Maia. So you're under the radar. There's not a lot, I'm not going to lie. I don't know a lot of them, being honest with you. I haven't really looked at this card. A little hungover this morning, a little tired, a little vulnerable. The obvious one, are we going to do the 3, or just the obvious one is the Alvey Casey?
Alvey Casey's the obvious one, Sam Alvey's always entertaining. Kevin Casey, related to Muhammad Ali at this point. So
he's just married in, isn't he? He's not really related, to be fair.
Related by marriage. Chad LaPrez versus Thibault Guti is a good one.
Again, but this is what I like about when some people see a UFC card and they're like, I don't know anyone. Then watch it. Get to fucking know them.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? You're not going the next superstar could be on this undercard. Do you know what I mean?
Joking.
No, but you know what I mean?
Good.
So,
Good.
Should look at fucking Yair Rodriguez. We didn't know much about him coming in.
Overrated.
But we didn't know much about him coming in, and now people are touting him as a superstar.
No, he is.
And that's where he started.
I like Yair Rodriguez. Just get into this again. I like Yair Rodriguez. I just think it was too much too soon. He's getting blown up too much. I don't think he's at the level that they're trying to say he's at. That's my only thing.
A lot of people are saying that about Conor as well.
A
lot of people.
A
hell of a lot of people.
But Yair Rodriguez is knocking people out too.
I take your point.
Getting back into this argument.
We had a good little interaction last week on the Tube of You, YouTube, for people who couldn't break that.
A lot of views.
Yeah, we got a shitload of views on the fan one. Apologies for the sound on it. As you were all nice to tell us. We literally done a last minute idea. Download an app and plug the mic into the phone. So we're gonna get all the we have all the proper equipment to do it, so we'll be doing future stuff. It was great. It got great reaction. The fan one. The fight one got great reaction as well. So yeah, we'll look out for more stuff like that.
We want to do a lot more with the YouTube channel. There's loads we can do. So look for more going forward.
Hit us up on YouTube. It's obviously Fight Talk. On Instagram, it's obviously Fight Talk. On Facebook, it's obviously Fight Talk. And on Twitter, it's @talk_fight. But you'll find us by typing in obviously Fight Talk. But yeah, give us a follow, because Carl tends to get a hold of it the odd time, especially when he has a few whiskies in, and that's fucking lethal. But yeah, look, listen, what a week of fights, lads. We counted down for a long time for 202. It was worth the wait. It delivered. It was a great fucking card from the start to finish. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed fucking MMA anyway.
Better than 200.
The main card, absolutely.
Better than 200.
Great main card. Loads of finishes, just.
And the main event was a main event.
Yeah, the main event was just
instant classic.
Oh,
when you were watching it, you were going, I'm watching something great. Now, mate, I don't know if you weren't involved the way we obviously were, being Irish, and then the Americans with Diaz and the little back and forth. I wonder, was it as intriguing for them? I think it fucking was, because it was a great fucking fight.
It's just a great fight. Like, either way, like, I just wanted to see a good fight, and that's what we said. Like, when it finished, I said, I think McGregor won that fight, but I fucking love this sport. I fucking love this sport.
No, I thought he got it now, I have to be honest.
I thought he won it.
Great game plan
either way,
by SBG going into that, and great game plan in Artem's fight as well. It worked, so as we said, you can only beat what's in front of you. So yeah, that's it for this week. So thanks as always for listening. Say your good night there, Carl.
Good night, everybody.
And Robert,
sleep tight.
So Dublin, you have been beautiful. Again, North Korea, love you. Germany, we love you. We apologise for Carl bringing up terrible historic events.
Don't commit my
never happened.
But yeah, obviously Fight Talk, check us out. There's going to be loads more stuff, and talk to us next week. Enjoy the fights. Oust the fuck.